and I'm joined by SimpleSimon. This is a new thing that I've started doing. Hopefully, it will catch on. Basically, I was going to talk to people about their music, about like 5 records from their collection or from from their youth or whatever that have special significance or meaning to them. And first up, SimpleSimon, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm going to talk some music. I barely listen to music anymore, but
yeah, why is that? You're too busy YouTubing and
yeah, but no, I think I go through phases where I listen to a lot of podcasts. So
yeah.
and but what's cool is like I literally will barely listen to any music, and then when some days I'm like I'm running out of podcasts to listen to, I'll listen to some music, and I'm like, oh, I forgot how awesome music is. Like it used to be my life, you know?
Yeah, it's true actually. Yeah, I've kind of gone off listening as well. Like I've been trying to get back. I do my podcast and I listen to the stuff on my podcast, but then after that, I don't sort of listen at other times. I'm too busy watching people's videos. I see people watching people's videos, trying to support their channels and stuff like that, and even comments and that. So this is the concept. I think I've explained it to you. Five pieces of music. It could be a CD, it could be a record, it could be a single track that like have a significance for you, just to get a sort of picture of some of your past, some of your memories, that kind of thing. So what do you want to go with first?
All right, so I've brought all vinyl today because my CD collection was being guarded by a bunch of spiders, so I just went with vinyl. So first up,
vinyl's good though. Vinyl's good.
Vinyl is good. I know you like vinyl, so let me see what I should go with first. I'll go with this. I'll go with a British band, a band from the UK, right? Cool. So, have you heard of these guys?
Oh yeah, Anti-Nowhere League. Yeah, I think my girlfriend likes them. I think she's seen them live actually. I think she went to see them live recently, a couple of years back.
Yeah, they still play. I think. Yeah. So this is We Are the League, which is one of their, I think, most popular albums. So I guess my story about this is so we played with these guys when they toured Melbourne.
Oh, right, cool.
They came down, I think, twice, and we played with them the first time. And the second time we were supposed to play with them, and then they cancelled. They didn't show up. So but yeah, I bought another record from these guys once as well. I bought a couple of 7 inches, and cool story was I waited it'd been like 2 months and the records never arrived. So I messaged the seller on eBay. I was like, hey man, these records haven't come. He's like, oh, I'll check. And he's like, that's weird. They should definitely be there by now. And he goes, hit me up if you still haven't heard from them in a few weeks. So what happened was he actually ended up sending me this other stuff, which I still didn't get the 7-inch records. He ended up sending me this other stuff, which included cassette tapes from these guys that were like recorded from live gigs. And he'd even like made his own cassette like covers and stuff from with like black and white photos on them. So he said, So he sent me all these crazy bootlegs and stuff. I was like, oh, I really appreciate that, man. That's awesome. And then like randomly another 2 weeks after that, the records finally showed up. Right. So that was a cool little score.
Didn't they get covered by Metallica? Didn't they do a cover of one of their songs?
Yeah, so they did So What. Yes.
Yeah, that's the one with the. Can you just give us the lyrics to that one, please?
Am I allowed?
No, probably not. It's quite raucous though, isn't it?
Yes.
So what? You. Yeah. We won't go for lyrics.
Yes, but I really dig these guys, and I actually like some of their newer stuff too. So
were they cool to hang out with? Did they hang out and chat to you at the gig?
I hung out with not the singer. The singer's a bit of a rock star. Like he showed up late and everything like that. And I think so. I don't know how many original band members there are now actually, but we hung out with some of the other band members, talked to them, and so the lead singer's name's Animal.
Right.
I like saying, oh yeah, Animal. He's out there shopping and being a rock star and shit like that.
Didn't he use the drum for the Muppet Band?
Sorry.
Didn't he use the drum for the Muppet Band?
Yes. We also got to we supported a lot of cool bands, man. Like we supported another English band called the Hardskins, but like a skinhead band. We supported the Exploited. That was probably our biggest one.
Okay, yeah, they're cool. Talking of, you just reminded me. You said the Hardskins. There was an Aussie sort of punk band that I saw in London called the Hard-Ons. Do you know them?
Yeah, I know the Hard-Ons. Yeah, they're from Sydney. Yes.
All right. Where are you from? Sydney?
No, I'm from Melbourne.
Melbourne. I lose track. I forget.
So they're I'm pretty sure they're from Sydney, but yeah, they're pretty big underground following here.
Yeah.
I've never gotten into. They're more like a sort of skater punk sort of style. Not like pop punk or anything like that, but more that sort of skater style punk, I find.
Yeah, I think this is back in like the late '80s that I got but one album of theirs, and then I saw them live. I can't remember who they were playing with now. I think it was a UK band called Bomb Disneyland.
Oh, I haven't heard of them.
Pretty sure they played with them. Anyway, there's any more memories of that album? When did you play it?
There's some great songs on there. My band covered. So they've got this song. Is it on this album called "Woman," which is a great song. So it starts off like a love ballad, like a real slow love ballad, and then midway through the song, they do their vows about getting married and stuff. And then the second half of the song starts going crazy, and he starts saying about how he's sick of the girl, and why did I marry you, and all this stuff. It's an awesome song, and my band covered that song. And before we started playing gigs, we played a couple of house parties, and I remember just playing a cover of that once at this house party in front of like 10 people.
Okay, you didn't play at any weddings?
No weddings. Played a couple of birthdays though, and a few.
Mastodon sounds ideal for a wedding.
Yeah, Mastodon just wants to know the name. The name of my band was The Worst. So Grey Man has like our entire discog.
Yeah, they okayed it to me.
That's right. It was a good.
He played it on the podcast.
Yes, he did. I still got to do that thing for you. I still want to do an intro for your show.
Yeah, you should do, mate. Should do. We're going to move on to the next one now.
Yeah, I'll move on to the next one. Okay. So this band, you will not like, Grey Man. I definitely know that this is not your style of metal.
That's fine. That's fine. There'll be plenty of stuff on this. If I do more, that I won't be anything, any knowledge of. That's kind of half the point.
So this is probably one of my more expensive vinyls. I paid $100 for this vinyl, and it's a bit worse for wear, but it's a picture disc.
Right.
And I know that you're probably like. So I'm a big fan of this band because my brothers, they're all like 10 plus years older than me. They're all half brothers too. So they're like different dad. But they all in the 80s had their big mullet hairs, and I used to think they were like the coolest dudes, my brothers. And they were into like metal, like they like Megadeth and Metallica and stuff too, but they also like a lot of the glam metal stuff, right? Which I know you're not a fan of.
Yeah.
But because of that, I remember back in the 80s, right? Music videos are a big deal because they were kind of new, sort of.
Yeah.
Like they started to get creative. So I remember just being this little kid, and I used to go over to my brother's house sometimes, and it'd just be him and all their friends. They'd just be drinking and watching music videos. And one of my favorite music videos was a song called "Girls, Girls, Girls" by this band here.
Yeah. God, pop metal.
This is my Motley Crue Helter Skelter. It's a 4-track.
Right.
And I paid $100 for this thing.
How long ago did it cost you $100?
I would say probably in my early 20s.
Okay, so that was a long time ago. It's probably worth more now, do you reckon? Or
maybe because they had their revival and stuff. So I actually don't know what's on the back. It's been so long. Oh yeah, so again, just another cool picture of them.
So just go back. Channel Grey from like the 80s and 90s when I was a thrasher. So is it an all-girl band, that band?
Hey, didn't you hear? There's a documentary where like Nikki Sixx was saying, like, I think backstage they were copping shit from like the production team, like, look at these guys wearing high heels and stuff, and he's like, hey man, just because I wear makeup and high heels doesn't mean I can't come over and kick your ass. I
know, it's true. They were like great drinkers and fighters and fornicators. They don't look like they would be, but apparently they were.
Dude, I used to love these guys, man. So when I first started like our band, like because even though it's punk and this was so far from it, the thing is, like, all these guys, all the glam guys, like, they all grew up on punk rock.
Yeah.
And then they liked metal as well, because metal was a little bit more of the time. But I wanted to be the Motley Crue of punk rock, mate. It was all about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, mate, when we were playing gigs. But I'll tell you a funny story about this. I've only played this disc once.
Yeah.
And I put it on my record, and I was so nervous because I'd spent $100, and back then $100 was a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
So I put it on my record player, and when I went to reach for the needle, I accidentally bumped it, and it just went across the record.
Oh dear.
That's a yeah. So Mastodon just talked about Wasp. Did you like Wasp?
Wasp are the only glam-looking band that get passed from me.
They're a great band, dude.
Yeah, Blind
in Texas,
yeah.
man. What a killer track. Yeah. So that is my Motley Crue record. Yes, I love me some Motley Crue.
I think you've got to have respect for anyone who can wear a buzzsaw codpiece.
Yeah, dude. Was it Blackie Lawless? Is that his name?
Lawless, yeah.
Yeah. The buzzsaw thing on his awesome.
Yeah, on his codpiece as well, didn't he? On his codpiece. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it's funny watching these guys now because there was that big 80s revival. Actually, I'll tell you a funny story. When I was really into all that sort of stuff when I was younger, I asked my brother, I was like, hey man, do you still have all your old records? He's like, yeah, man, we haven't met, because their dad's different dad. So he's like, they're at our dad's place in the basement. So you can go over there and take them if you want. So I was like, cool. So I grabbed all these. It was like Motley Crue, Skid Row, Poison, and all this stuff. I grabbed all these records, right? And then all of a sudden, a few months later, there was this big sort of 80s revival. Like all that stuff started to become cool again. So my brother came around to my house and took all those records back. And I had to go rebuy them all myself. I was like, you bastard, mate.
My little brother's got my Guns N' Roses album with I think the original cover. They got banned, I think, in the end. It's probably worth some money now. I don't know.
Which cover?
Yeah, the one with the robot jumping over the fence, like with all the blades.
I can't remember.
The Guns N' Roses first album, Appetite for Destruction, the original kind of like band art cover.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't think I knew that. Did you like Gunners?
They weren't too bad. I liked them when they first came out because I saw them. My first gig at Monsters of Rock '88, and they were one of the bands on the bill.
Ooh. And they were 88. Oh, 88. That was probably before they really blew up, right?
No, they were massive. They were huge then. They really kind of exploded. Got a cup of tea.
Nice. But yeah, so glam rock was a big thing in my life. It was it was weird. A lot of people thought I was weird for being into punk rock and glam rock. So
yeah, no, I think it's good to have different, like, you know, I like most metal, pretty much all metal I like, and like extreme stuff. I can listen to, but I don't tend to listen to other musics. But my mum loved the '60s and my dad loved the '50s, so I can listen to those. But you know, if I'm listening on my own accord, it would be something heavy.
Yeah, you like the really heavy stuff though, which I appreciate that too. I never got into like death metal and stuff like that. I have a lot of friends who are into it, but it was never my cup of tea. I like thrash, definitely like thrash bands. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have any thrash to show you today, but the next one, what will I show you? I'll leave the controversy till a bit later. All right, so this one here, this might be my favorite album of all time.
Okay, cool.
And majority of the people watching won't probably know this band. They're a hardcore band called Blood for Blood.
Okay.
And they're like a hardcore rock and roll band. So, but they kind of fall into the hardcore genre. But this is probably one of my favorite albums of all time. Blood for Blood, Outlaw Anthems. It is just full of hate. It is just hate-fueled.
Is that an Aussie band?
Nah, they're from Boston.
Okay. I've not heard of Blood for Blood. I've heard of a few hardcore bands, but never heard Blood for Blood.
They had a very big underground sort of following, so they're not really a band anymore. One of the guys, White Trash Rob, he's gone to form his own band called Ramallah now. But nothing beats this record, man. This is literally one of the best. This, and they also had an album called Living in Exile. Just two of the best records I've ever listened to. But the story with this record, right? So this is the only time I ever sniped someone on eBay, right? I needed this record in my life, right? You cannot find it. I've looked this up now to see how much it's going for now. I cannot find this record anymore. It was limited to 1,500.
Right. And is this band still going? Or there was
Nah, so they because I heard the singer. They had two singers. One of the singers played guitar and sang, which is White Trash Rob. He formed Ramela, and the other singer, which is called Buddha, he went to jail for doing some bad things to young girls. So I hate hearing those stories too, because people are like, I'm going to boycott the band. It's like, man,
just have to listen to the music, mate. Listen to the music and not worry about it.
It's not going to stop me from listening to music. But dude, so I had to have this record. So I woke up at 3 a.m. I set my alarm for 3 a.m. so I would not miss this. And I literally put my bid in 3 or 4 seconds to go, and I got it. And look at this beautiful blue vinyl, mate. Does vinyl look better than that?
I've heard of that label, Victory Records.
Yeah, they do mostly hardcore bands, but man, that is about as nice a blue as you can get, right?
It's quite nice, quite nice. I've got a couple of more bands. I have seen a blue label, blue vinyl.
I was going to ask you actually, like, are you into? Because I know in the comic book stuff, like you're very basic as far as like you're not into variants and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But with records, do you like the colored ones or the pictures and all that sort of stuff?
I don't mind them. They sort of just come like that sometimes. I don't sort of seek them out or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just wherever they come.
They're pretty cool though, man. You got to admit.
I got one the other day. It was a sea green vinyl. It looked quite nice.
Well, how many records do you have?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Like, is it as crazy as your comic book collection?
Not quite as crazy, but I have done videos of it, like just going through all my vinyl, like kind of thing.
I've seen your beer and vinyl show.
Yeah, but I also I did beer and vinyl before, like from A to Z of all my vinyls, kind of thing. But I've got a fair. I don't know, maybe I don't know. It's
like how many crates? Sorry,
it's like 3 shelves, kind of like.
Because I've only got two. I've got 2 crates, and that's it. So
right, yeah, I've got more than that.
It was a short run because I used to spend money on them like crazy. So this next one, mate, this is a killer story.
Right.
So
that's what I want. Killer stories, mate.
That's a newsstand. It's a good one, Hilaire. Okay, so back when I first started playing in the band, right?
Yeah.
The punk scene, there was a very strong neo-Nazi presence in the scene, right?
Yeah.
So now, just for people who are watching this, right, a skinhead is not a Nazi, all right? There are skinheads, and then there's Nazi skinheads, right?
Yeah, because the original skinheads came from like ska and like with the reggae scene.
Reggae, yeah, exactly, absolutely. That's exactly what happened. So the history of skinhead, like the, I guess, subculture, came from reggae music and things like that. So I think just when Nazi, so is Screwdriver, are they English? Do you know?
Yeah. So yeah.
Like, so you know about all that, right? So that's
they're white power, aren't they?
Yeah. But they're very well known for their first album, which was not political at all, and the first album was a punk album.
Right.
So the story goes, Ian Stewart, who was the singer of Screwdriver, I think there was one night where he basically got beat up by a bunch of black people and he became racist because of that, and then started singing making racist music.
All right.
So, but when I first played in my band, I just noticed it was a presence there. And the craziest thing was a lot of these, the skinhead sort of crowd, a lot of them gravitated towards a lot of my friends because a lot of my friends kind of got into shaving their heads and all that sort of stuff, right? So it's a really weird time in my life where a few of them started, like, I know a couple of friends who I'm still friends with today, but back then they went to a Nazi show. Like, they went to one. So it was a very odd time. And then as the years went on, I just noticed that scene sort of just, and a lot of the guys who I knew from that scene also obviously, you know, came to and realized how stupid they were.
Yeah, a lot of people do stuff when they're young and dumb, don't they? And they realize after, right, that I was stupid. Why, you know, end up hating your younger self. And what a twat I was when I was a kid.
Yeah, and I totally get that. Look, I always say, as far as when it comes to racism and stuff, like, for a lot of those guys, they just wanted to belong somewhere, right?
Yeah.
The group to belong to, and a lot of the times those neo-Nazi groups they want to recruit these kids, you know, fucking this is the way, white power.
Yeah.
So
young and angry, and they give you like a focus for your anger and pretend to be your brothers and that kind of thing.
So I had a friend, right? So his name was, we used to call him Gunk because he used that's right, we used to call him Gunk because when we first met him, he was a goth. And he started with us, and then he got into punk music, shaved a mohawk in, started wearing the leather jackets and stuff. So we called him Gunk. Right? So one day at one of our gigs, Gunk shows up with this skinhead that I'd never seen before, right? Mate, these stories are about to get insane for the people watching, right? So I see Gunk with this random skin. I was like, hey, man, what's going on? And he kind of gave me a bit of a cold shoulder. He just kind of, you know, didn't say hi. I was like, man, I used to like hang out with you all the time, right? So later on, we played that night. And while we were playing, that guy that he rocked up with took off his top and just had like SWAT stickers and SS tattoos all over him, man, right? And people were just like eyeballing this dude, man. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then that dude, Gunk, became like a full-blown Nazi. It was insane. I was like, he used to be such a cool dude. And it's just weird for, you know what I mean? And that other guy with the tattoos, I explained the story to my friend because my friend was one of those guys who went to that gig, that infamous gig. And he said, yeah, so that guy's name is this. And he just got out of prison for chopping someone up and putting him in a bin.
Oh, God.
So,
Wow.
yes, I know a lot about that scene because it was very much a thing back in the early days of being a band. So yeah.
Yeah, in the metal scene, you had quite a lot of right-wing like black metal bands. So
yes.
you'd have a bit of trouble with that because you'd have the right-wing black metal crowd in, plus you'd have the South Americans, like, because you know, who come to live in London, and like obviously they didn't get on. As you'd expect.
One of my friends actually, he got pretty deep into it for a while, right? And he toured with some, I think they called themselves like a speed metal band, but they've got like full-blown Nazi video clips and stuff like that, and he toured Europe with them.
God.
And I remember that guy when he said to me once, right? He said to me, he goes to me, I'm not racist, man. I don't hate people because of their skin. I hate people because of their blood. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? So
that's stupid.
Yeah, I grew up with some interesting people. But anyway, this record I'm about to show you, right?
Yeah.
I was really into Japanese punk bands and Japanese music in general, like Japanese, anything that was from Japanese, like they just do it on another level that is just super cool, right? So I bought this, and you might be able to just tell just by looking at it, but I just saw the cover and I was like, this kind of looks interesting, so I bought it, right? So the band is called Sledgehammer, right?
Okay.
Now, if you look at this cover,
yeah,
it looks very
it does look dubious.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God, yeah, it does look very dubious.
So I didn't really pay too much attention to it, and then I got I've got it here. Is this it? There was basically, he gave me a bunch of, yes. So this is a list of other stuff that the seller was selling, right? And automatically I was like, oh, Fortress, I know them. They're Nazi as fuck. So he sent me a list of all these Nazi bands, and then I looked at the cover and I was like, wait a sec, look at these guys. They're like Japanese nationalists.
Yeah, blood away.
What did I buy?
How did you come to buy that? Did you buy it online, you said, or?
Because I was into a lot. So skinhead music is known as oi. O-I.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I'm into a lot of oi music, and I was into all these Japanese oi bands, and I just stumbled across this while looking up all those other bands, and I was like, oh, these guys look interesting, so I bought it. It wasn't a band I had heard of until I got the record.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so it can be quite weird because I've got a mate who he had a black girlfriend for a while, and he wasn't a Nazi. He liked punk bands. He liked listening to the music. He liked listening to them, but he wasn't like, it didn't have that ideology. And he had a black girlfriend, and it was just like, and we was all like, we went over there once, and he was for a party, and he was saying, oh yeah, I like this about it. We're looking at it, going, looking at the song titles, we're going, what's going on? And he was just like, no, I don't like any of that shit. I just like the music. And it was just like, well, I'm sure you could find like bands playing similar music that aren't singing about such rubbish, you know?
Well, which is why, like, when a lot of those guys that I was kind of friends with, like they were friends I grew up with, and then they just happened to, a few of them kind of got poached by that sort of group. And to me, I always knew that, I mean, look, I'd say the guy who was in the band for a bit, he got pretty serious into it. But my other friends, I was like, I know you're not fucking serious into this, right? You guys just want to feel cool around these guys because you feel tough, right? But I've got to say as well, look at this beautiful vinyl. So it's a nice.
Is that the Sledgehammer one?
Yeah, it's a nice grey marble. Yeah, blank label, so you can draw your own swastika onto it.
How does that work with a Japanese Nazi band? Then what happens when they can't be touring in with the white Nazi band, surely?
No, so I believe it's a nationalist band. It's not a Nazi band. It's a nationalist band. So there's nationalist skinheads who pretend that they're not racist, but they're racist as fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, Japanese bands, man. Like, there's some really good Japanese punk bands, and so I'll show you some of them tomorrow.
Right, yeah. When I come, because I'm coming to your channel tomorrow, just go for the rest of your vinyl. It reminds me of there was a death metal band with like white ring leanings. I can't remember what they were called now. And I got a black friend, and he said, "Oh, I don't give a shit what they're singing about. I like the music." And he even though they were like singing songs about fall of the Millennic breed or something like that, they were talking about people with darker skins are lesser. And he said, "I don't give a shit. I fucking had a bollocks. I just like the tunes." It was a bit strange though.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'll tell. I'm embarrassed to say this, but that Fortress band, they have one song that's really good, but it's not racist at all. It's just about drinking beer.
Right. Why can't I do something about drinking beer? We could all get behind it then.
That's right. But yes, that is my history with Nazis and punk rock. So I've only got one more.
Right.
So this is my last one.
I forgot what number we were on.
So yeah, I've shown 4. So I did my Anti-Nowhere League, my Motley Crue, my Blood for Blood, and my and the Sledgehammer, Japanese Nazis. All right.
Yeah.
So you told me, Grey Man, that I'm only allowed to use one of my own own band.
People coming in sharing all their own albums.
And I was like, come on, mate, I don't toot my own horn, but I'm going to toot my own horn just this one time, right? So my band was on a vinyl once upon a time, a very low print one too, limited to 300.
Okay.
All right, 300 printed. And I didn't even... Sorry?
Self-released?
Nah, someone I know did it. So she's actually like kind of like the manager for Rose Tattoo. You know Rose Tattoo?
Right. Yeah, I know the name, yeah. Right, they were a band, weren't they?
Yeah. So she books like gigs for them and stuff like that.
Right.
She put this together, and she picked 4 of Australia's finest punk bands, right? So I had no idea. I pulled this out before. I had no idea I had 5 copies of this. So there's only 300 of them, and I have 5 of them.
No wonder the band never got anywhere if you never really sold them.
Man, these are highly sought after, mate, in my country. So Reckless Life.
Right. Is it by any chance you've got the whole of the band's copies? Should the other copies not have gone to your other band members?
No. So we've all got copies.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure our guitarist has more than I do, because there was about 6 or 7 different color variations. So I've got red, yellow, and orange. There was blue, there was green, there was a whole bunch of different. But I'll show you the yellow one's probably the easiest to look at. But cool artwork. Charter. So We Were the Worst. Where are we? We Were the Worst. Charter 77 were massive in Melbourne, where I'm from. So we used to play gigs with them a lot. And then we had Changeover and Run for Cover were both from New South Wales. So I think they were both from... Oh, Run for Cover were from Wollongong, which is in New South Wales. Changeover, another New South Wales band. But yeah, I always forget that, this exists. So now if you look at if you look at the name of the song, that that's the worst song. Is that allowed on your channel?
It's there now.
That was the first song I ever wrote, ladies and gentlemen.
Is it autobiographical?
Yeah, man. I used to cop it from the cops all the time, mate. I got smacked in the head by one. I got choked by one. It was good times. Almost Dead. That's our drinking song because
Right.
we're almost dead. Get it? Yeah.
Yeah. Listen to that. What's the one that you use as your music for every one of your videos? Because that is your dun 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 dun.
That song's called "No One Cares," and that is on our album. That's on the album that we got. But
is that your emo track?
Wait, no. Wait, no. Sorry, not "No One Cares." Sorry, that song is called "Don't Need Your Help." Don't need your, no one cares was like, oh, we're punk rock and everyone like looks down on us. That was
definitely emo. Then. Emo punk.
Hey, it was angry. It was angry music, right? It was angry music. That's why people trip out because they know me and then they see me playing the band. They're like, whoa, I didn't expect that. So
was that all your memories associated with that then?
Yeah, that was. I mean, look, I can go on forever, but
yeah, no, that's fair enough. We'll go on maybe more when we do it on your channel tomorrow. You want to do it, didn't you?
Yeah, so same time tomorrow. We'll do it on my channel. I'll show you the rest of my collection.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I should have some stuff. I don't think I've got too many thrash records actually. I think I've mostly got thrash CDs.
Yeah,
I don't know. I haven't gone through that record crate for literally years, so I'm kind of excited to go through and see what's actually there.
It's gonna be a trip down memory lane for you.
Yes, it'll be fun, mate. It'll be fun.
Wax saying that emo is good. I think he's going to come on my do a show with me on Sunday, showing 5 of his records, so we can have a chat about emo when he comes on today. I was emo before there was even an emo scene, mate. I was emo in a death metal band. If you watch any of my, check out my lyrics. Total emo.
Yeah. Hey, dude. Look, so most of my lyrics that I wrote would start off real down, like the world sucks and all that, but it would always end on a positive note. Like, this is what you got to do, right? You got to rise above in the end. So my songs are always trying to level it out, Man, Alex, what are you talking about? First appearance of Emo Simon.
The lyricist for your band.
Sorry?
Did you do all the lyrics yourself?
I wrote 95% of the lyrics. Like, one of the guys wrote maybe 3 songs. Our guitarist wrote 1 song. Our drummer wrote 1 song. Our drummer wrote 1 song, and it's our most famous song.
Okay, cool. All right, then we'll finish up then. Has you got anything else got anything coming up on your channel you want to tell people about?
Yeah, so tomorrow night I'm going to be showing the rest of my record collection with the Grey Man, and we're going to talk more music, and I might even pick your brain on. I'd love to hear about your band years, mate, and some stories. So
we'll dredge up my memory for stories.
Yeah, man, it'll just be a cool hangout. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, cheers for coming on, and say this is going to be like a new thing that I'm doing. I can't even got a name for it yet. I was thinking of musical memories. I just want people to come on, talk about 5 bits of music. Could be an album, could be a CD, could be a single track with some kind of memory associated with it. So anyone wants to come on and do one of these with me in future, get in touch. You know where I am. Message me. Hi, Lee. I want you to come on and talk about, because he's always talking about music on his streams. He always goes off onto a musical tangent, and I think we're going to talk to Wack on Sunday about his music. And yeah, cheers for coming on, and goodbye, everybody.
Peace.
Good idea.